What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Nick with Leverage Media, and welcome to another special episode of the Path to $1 Million podcast. I'm just trying to get as much information out there as possible about this bill. I don't think people have been following it maybe as closely as I have, and so they have a lot of questions about it. I just got another question asking, what if I borrow more money? So there's certain categories that will be forgiven. The federal government will loan you the money, but if you use the money for payroll, insurance premiums, like health insurance premiums for your staff, any payroll costs, like if you work, a company like does your payroll for you, the interest on your mortgage, if you have a commercial building, your rent, your utilities, and any interest on any business loans that you might have. Those categories will be relieved, but that will cover, I would guess for most chiropractors, that'll cover about 75% of their overhead, if not more. If you have to borrow money to make like your principal payments on your mortgage or your principal payments on your business loans, or you've got like software costs, just like things that like the cost of doing business, right? So if you have to borrow more money to cover that remaining percentage of your overhead, you can still borrow the money through this program, but anything outside of those categories will not be forgiven. So you will actually have to pay that money back. So I found the language in the bill on how that would be paid back. So basically, you'll be able to amortize it out over 10 years, and it'll be at a 4% interest rate. I also saw that in terms of paying the money back, so once you've asked for loan forgiveness, let's say you borrow $200,000 and 150 of it falls into those 6 categories that will be forgiven. The remaining $50,000, when you ask for the loan forgiveness, let's say you ask for the loan forgiveness on June 1st. When you ask for the loan forgiveness, they'll decide, okay, the 150 is forgiven, the 50 is not, okay? The $50,000 that is not forgiven from June 1st on, that is the 10-year amortization starts then. 4% interest on that. But I believe that I'm reading this language right, that you will get no less than 6 months of no payments on that $50,000 and no more than 1 year. So if for whatever reason you're still closed or you're not able to make the payment, it seems like they're going to be very generous with the paying people, like the part where you got to pay it back, right? So even if it's not forgiven, if you still have to like actually pay the money back and you have to pay it back at 4%, that $50,000 that was not forgiven, you would get 6 months of basically deferment, which I would guess they would not be accruing interest in the time of that 6 months. So at least 6 months, at most 1 year. Okay. So I just did a video right before this one where we talked about what you should be doing right now to get your documentation in order and what you should be doing in terms of contacting your bank. So I just reached out to my banker and I told him, I was like, man, you should be reaching out to a lot of small businesses, including ones that are not clients, because they're going to make a shit ton of money on the fees. So I found the section for him. They're going to make 5% of the loans, like the loan value amount, up to $350,000. They're going to make 3% between $350 and $2 million, and they're going to make 1% for loans more than 2 million, less than 10 million. So these, people that are at 2 million, like they already have bankers. But my point with that, the reason why like you should care, is that the banks, this is going to be a big opportunity for them to make fees. So you've got to make sure that you move fast to talk to your banker to set up an appointment to make sure that you can get the application done. Mnuchin said yesterday that Thursday or Friday is when the money is going to be released. So that would be, I would probably try to be setting up an appointment with your banker on Thursday of next week. I'd probably try to set up at least a phone call with them they probably won't know. I was educating my friend on what the percentages were. So I don't know. I don't think that they know any more than than I do from just like reading the bill. So I maybe give them a couple of days before you go asking them questions, but I would try to set something up as soon as possible to find out what they think they're going to need for documentation. So I did a video right before this on the documentation that I think you'll need at the maximum. And then earlier this morning, I did like a 15-minute video on like the part of the bill that really is going to matter for small businesses and matter for chiropractors. So check out those videos. I think that'll give you a lot of information. It'll probably give you an opportunity to kind of take a deep breath and be a little bit relieved. It's a short-term fix. I don't know how, like if this doesn't resolve itself in 8 weeks, then I'm sure that they're going to have to expand it. But for the time being, it gives, especially offices that maybe are closed, it gives them a real opportunity to keep their staff on and pay their bills. So let me know if you have any questions. Talk to you on the next one.